Today we're going to work on multiplying numbers with decimals. The purpose of multiplying numbers with decimals, it can be used for working with money, scientific equations and formulas, converting measurements, and many other possibilities. The first step in multiplying decimals is stack the problem. And we're going to use the example 3 and 21/100ths times 1 and 2/10ths. When you stack the problem, do not worry about lining up the point. And you'll see why in a minute. We don't line up and drop the decimal point in multiplication. That is only something we do in addition and subtraction. So do not worry about lining up the point. As a matter of fact, I would recommend that you don't, because if you do, you may accidentally just drop the decimal point. So let's move on to step 2. Multiply while ignoring the decimal point. I do not care where the points are at this point. It does not matter. You should multiply it as if it was 321 times 12. Ignore that the points are there. And you do your normal multiplication as we've done here. Give you a second to look at it, check it, make sure I'm right with that. Alright, the next step, step 3. After you've multiplied it and I found that it was 3,852, step 3 is I look back at the problem and I'm going to count the number of digits that are behind the decimal points in the problem. Now, remember, when I say digits, I mean the number of numbers. So, that's one digit, that's one digit, that's one digit. And notice that I said decimal points. I meant both points in each of the two multiples that I am multiplying with. So, 3.2 and 1, that's two numbers, and 1.2, that's the third number. So there are 3 digits in this problem that are behind a decimal point. So all I had to do is I wrote down that number 3. Now, step 4, I move the decimal place, the number of digits that you counted in the previous step from the right to the left. So that decimal point that I ignored, now I'm going to put it into the problem. And I always start from the right to left. I'm moving the decimal in. So there were 3 in there, I noticed before. I go in from the right to the left. 1, 2, 3. Notice there are now 3 numbers behind the decimal point, just like my previous step said there should be. So my answer is 3 and 852 thousandths, or 3.852. Let's review. Step 1, stack the problem. Step 2, multiply like normal. Do not line it up. Do not do anything with the decimal at this point. Step 3, count the number of digits from the right to the right of the decimal point. Step 4, move the decimal point back into the answer from the right to the left the number of times you counted it in step 3. Your turn. I want you to try these two. We'll go over them in just a minute.